Well, it's a good job this fight isn't on in Saudi because there's been some serious Brokeback Mountain shit going on between Canelo and Crawford in the build-up to this. What is going on here? At least try and hide the fact you fancy each other. I honestly thought Canelo was going to propose to Crawford on that boat. I mean, let's be honest, the whole promotion's been a disaster. Dana White has acted like a complete and utter weirdo. I didn't even know what he's doing there. Turkey looked bored at the press conference. I mean, this is the final time to promote this fight, and they just look like they can't be arsed. Netflix have done a fantastic job. I thought the countdown show was brilliant. Both episodes were excellent. Very well made, but that's obviously got nothing to do with Turkey or Dana. And it's just been a strange vibe the whole way through. The undercard is a joke. They've spent no money on that. And I really hope this main event delivers. I think it will. I've got a feeling that because there's so much on the line, I think Canelo needs to go for the knockout. I don't think he can afford for this fight to go to the scorecards. And for Crawford, I think he knows he probably has to win 10 rounds to get a draw against Canelo. So I expect the fight to be good, but God forbid this is a stinker. And this whole thing would have been a complete and utter disaster. The first fight that Dana's been involved with. And for Turkey, he's gave it the biggin about how they're going to take over boxing and crush all the competition. Well, so far, it's not been impressive. And what is the point in having Max Kellerman there if you're not going to let him do a HBO-style face-off like he done with Vladimir Klitschko and David Haye back in the day?
It's going to be a great fight. Oh, it's going to be a great fight. You can feel it. You can feel it. You can cut it with a knife. Oh, I've got a fucking hard-on right now. I'm telling you.
Yeah, well, Turkey and Dana have definitely not gave me a hard-on for this fight, but I do think that it's got the potential to be a great event. Once we get that wank undercard out the way, I think this main event has to go off. Obviously, Canelo's not looked great recently, but this is his biggest fight, probably since the first Golovkin fight, I'd say. So surely we have to see a Canelo that's going to let his hands go and that's going to go for the knockout in this. I don't see a world where Crawford stops Canelo. Canelo's only really been hurt once against Jose Cotto 15 years ago, and even in that fight he recovered and he went on to stop Cotto. And the only time we've seen Crawford hurt was against Gamboa, and he went on to stop Gamboa in the same round. But Canelo has definitely got the power to knock out Crawford, because Crawford is not a super middleweight. I know he's naturally taller than Canelo and he's actually got a longer reach, but he didn't look big at 154 pounds, and Canelo is way stronger. And I could definitely see Canelo stalking Crawford and hurting him and finishing him off, because he is definitely going to hurt Crawford at some point, unless Crawford can produce a masterclass where he doesn't get hit and he pulls off a Mayweather-style performance against Canelo, which Crawford is 100% capable of, but it is going to be so difficult for him to pull it off, especially when it gets down to their championship rounds and Canelo's hurt Crawford to the body and they're in the clinches and Canelo's leaning all over him. And at some point, you definitely get the feeling that Crawford's going to have to trade with Canelo. Canelo is one of the best counterpunchers in world boxing. So Crawford has to be pretty much punch perfect, and I'm sure him and Bomac have a master plan to pull off this incredible feat that it would be defeating Canelo. Even though a lot of people are picking Crawford, I see it as a 50-50 fight. So if Crawford does win, he has to get the credit, but it is the story of Crawford's career to beat a top fighter, and then afterwards, they were either washed up or never that good in the first place. It's almost like Crawford's embarrassed to mention the Errol Spence Jr. win, which isn't right. So if Crawford wins, give him his flowers. I know Canelo's not looked great recently, but at the same time, he's coming up to 168 pounds. There's no rehydration clause. And if Canelo wins, he deserves credit as well, because Crawford's 41-0, never lost as a professional. On paper, Canelo should win, but also Canelo has went up to light heavyweight and defeated Sergey Kovalev, who was much bigger than him. So if he loses to Crawford, it's not a massive embarrassment, but it will tarnish his legacy. So yeah, let's see, man. I mean, it's going to be fascinating. As always, after the event, everything will seem obvious. I still think Canelo wins, and I think he wins via stoppage. I can just see him finding a way of getting Crawford out of there, and I just don't think Crawford can take the power of Canelo. I know everyone's saying, look at how jacked Crawford is, but everyone was saying the exact same thing about Kell Brook when he fought Golovkin. And although Kell fought well against Triple G. We all know how that one ended. And I also think there's a good chance that he might be too heavy as well, because I think Crawford's best chance in this is to be light on his feet and to use his foot speed to get in and out of range and to box Canelo's head off. But if he comes in at 168 pounds, he's going to be way too heavy. I expected him to come in about 164, 165 when the fight first got announced, but now you look at him, I actually think he might come in at 168. But as always, what the fuck do I know? I hope you all enjoy the fight anyway, guys. Hopefully it delivers, and hopefully it's a fantastic fight, fantastic event, because I'm not being funny. Turkey and Dana doing good for boxing can only be a positive thing. I hope they absolutely smash it. I hope it's a brilliant atmosphere. I hope the undercard is surprisingly good, and I hope the main event is the fight of the year, and it delivers where both men get knocked down. May the best man win, and hopefully it's not an absolute snooze fest. But let's see. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Anyway, guys, enjoy all the boxing at the weekend. Subscribe if you're new, and I will see you all on the next one.